sales process is what happens after the click. Once you've got the attention, we've got to monetize the attention. People say, more attention is more money and all this kind of stuff, and they forget to add in that little component, which is, well, you got to have the ability to sell somebody something, right? So if we don't have a sales process, ain't none of this stuff gonna do nobody no good. That's the proper English. That's the proper way to say it, okay? So let's define it. Keep losing my voice. I've never spoken this much in my life as I have the past month here, all right? Sales process, super fancy way of saying the means by which you turn somebody into a customer. And it ain't got to be fancy. It just needs to exist, all right? Attorney sales process looks like this. Have you been injured? Call Rick James at Law for a free consultation to see whether or not the person you're thinking about suing has any money, all right? And then you call Rick James at Law. What if there's an attorney named Rick James, right? If there is an attorney named Rick James, this is totally coincidental, right? But if you call Rick James, attorney at law, you're like, that's a celebration. How can I help you? How can I help you sue these people? And then you go in, you do your consultation, and then you become a client or you don't. And that's like the classic attorney sales process, right? Very, very simple, nothing to it. Car dealer. Come on down and see us at Crazy Eddie's house. There's really, really good used cars that just mysteriously have all the serial numbers filed off of them. And take yourself a test drive. All right, so you call them or go in, drive the car, and then you buy the car you know. Super simple sales process, right? House painter, same thing. You think about painting your house? Give us a call. We'll come over to the house, measure it, and do whatever house painters do. Give you one of them estimates, and if you want to hire us, you can. If you don't, then you don't. Basic, right? But unless you have one of those, all this stuff we're doing is completely pointless. Coaching, I know a lot of folks on here are doing the coaching or consulting professional services thing. Typically, that's, hey, you need some help, apply to talk to me here, book a strategy session. You talk to them, they either become a client or not. Info marketer, myriad of sales processes, right? Typical one that's working well for me is a sales letter, goes to an initial purchase like a book, you got your upsells and you got your back end. Doesn't matter what the business is. You need a sales process, and it needs to be the right sales process. And here's why we need to nail this first. This is why we're focusing on this for this week, okay? So if we do the branding right, which I'm going to just change that to when we do the branding right, like starting now, okay? You're going to get more attention and traffic and interest and goodwill than you've ever had. I mean, dude, I haven't had these types of numbers, all right? Look at this again. This is just on Facebook, by the way, all right? I have not had this kind of stuff here where it's, where's the views? 10,000, 14,000, 18,000 views a day on average, like ever, okay? Now, maybe during a 7-day period back in the day when I would do the big product launches and stuff, but still even then, probably not. Not at that level. Like, this is big stuff, and I'm in I started on the 1st, so this is now week number 5 of doing this. So my prediction is when you do this stuff, and you clearly ain't got to be fancy because you've seen mine, right? When you do this stuff right, you're going to get more attention, traffic, goodwill than you've ever gotten. So monetizing is pretty good. I don't think anyone would be taking this class if I was like, oh, and you're just going to build a brand, but probably never going to sell anything. Like, you got to be selling stuff, right? So that's all obvious, but what isn't obvious is the sales process in and of itself determines what you tell people to do in your branding content, all right? And so that's why this is such a big deal. So we need to nail that sales process first because you're going to be making offers in your content every single time. That offer, it needs to be clearly defined, whether it's, hey, pick up the phone and call us, go to my website to book a call, go here to register for a webinar, go here to buy a book, whatever it is, we got to know because we're going to build everything around that, right? So we're kind of starting with the end in mind here. Now, here's the thing. I've been doing this 19 years. It'll be 20 years in this October. Long time. Most people, meaning like almost every single individual I've ever spoken to, with the exception of I think one, overcomplicates this because we get in our head, And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make everything really bad for you for a minute by showing you all the 9 million things you could do. And then I'm going to give you a little flow chart that'll just help you figure out which one to do. So I created this flow chart for you. It's like a decision diamond matrix, based on all these little factors. But I'll give you like all the options, and then I'll help you pick out which one is the best. Okay, so the question becomes, all right, obviously I need a sales process. Thanks for taking all that time to make the obvious clear to me. Frankie, love you, mean it. All right, but like, what's the best one? Okay, well, here you go. It depends. Don't you love those answers? You remember going to the conferences in the old days, and people would ask like, well, what should I do? And the answer was always invariably test. Test is almost as exciting as it depends, but it really does depend. There isn't really a one-size-fits-all prescription for universally applicable to all businesses, and it depends on these things. Number one, what are you selling? Right? Like if you're selling airplanes, you're probably not going to drive somebody to a sales letter about the airplane where they enter their credit card number. Doesn't make sense, right? So huge factor, what you're selling. The price point matters. If you're selling something for $100,000, probably not driving people to an order form from a sales letter. Probably have to talk to them. Might have to send them some information before the call. Who knows, right? But like all these things come into play. Here's what nobody will tell you, because everybody likes to make this stuff sound easy. It also depends on your strengths. Like, what if you're a terrible copywriter and you just cannot write copy, right? And you're selling a $5 book or something. Well, you damn sure don't want to send them to a sales letter because you're a bad copywriter. Some people are, and it's okay. Because folks who are bad at copy are pretty good on video, or maybe good on the phone or whatever. Like, I'm terrible on the phone, which is why I had to get good at copy and stuff. Because I'm awful as an in-person salesperson. I'm like, hey, you want to buy this? They're like, I don't know. I have a concern or an objection. I'm like, okay, buy. Awful. Worst salesperson ever. Like, if I got employed by Grant Cardone, I would last 35 minutes. They'd be like, why did you handle that objection? I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't like it. Because I'm not that good at it. That's why I learned how to write copy. So all these things play a role, Okay. Oh, folks are Medley. You didn't get over by being a dumb son of a bitch. All right. So now you're gonna mess me up. I looked at the comments. Oh, someone's asking Patrick, saying, where can we find the replay afterwards? We'll put it in your members area. It's being recorded right now on Zoom. So we cool, man. We got you. And so you've got a members area, and you'll be broken up into small groups of 10. My team's going to reach out to you and help you get all that stuff established if they haven't already. So we got you covered, man. Don't you worry about nothing. Okay. And the spreadsheet, not a spreadsheet, the process map I'm going to give you, I'm going to try to shoot it to you now through Zoom chat, or actually not now, but when I give it to you. So we'll see how that works. Okay. Let me give you some examples. All right. So price, that's one. Like, how do you choose a sales process? One thing, it depends on price. So if you're selling something for 10 grand, probably going to be best to have some kind of human interaction. Really, really, really freaking hard to write a sales letter good enough to get somebody to give you $10,000 or so. All right. Like, super hard. I've never done it. I've never successfully done that in my life. And I'm pretty good at this stuff, right? Almost always have to have some kind of human interaction for that price point. A human interaction can be a webinar where you're answering their questions. It can be a discovery day where they come see you in a small group and you do a pitch from the stage. It can be a phone call. Like, price is a big factor in your process. And again, your strengths, right? Cannot stress that enough. Like, really understand what you're good at and what you hate doing and build your process around that. I do not really talk to people ever in a sales process unless the conversation is, I'm pretty sure I want to give you money. I have a couple questions. Then I answer the questions and I'm like, you want to give me money or not? And if they say, I don't know, I'm like, okay, bye. But, I'm never going to have that conversation with someone until they've seen copy and webinars and videos and stuff. Just got them all the way to the 1 yard line where they're just almost ready to go. And they just need me to answer some questions. And even then I'm bad at it. I'm like, well, I'm pretty good. You want to do it? And if you're like, well, I've got an objection. I'm like, okay, see you later. So still ain't good at it, right? So here's the rule. The governing factor here, as we go through this together and as you work with the team to implement, simple as events, period. I used to be a big fan of complexity and sales processes, like, well, if they watch this for 10 minutes, let's do this. And if they don't, let's do that. And if they do, let's do this. And all that stuff worked really, really well. And in the amount of time it took me to figure out how to build it and program it and troubleshoot it when it broke every 3 days, because like none of the software is really built to do all that kind of stuff, I could have just sold more stuff through a simple process. All right. So simple is always best. Biggest takeaway so far. Simple is best. All right. So I will give you examples now of sales processes according to business type. These are all processes that I've either tried personally or clients have used. Dang, I keep losing my voice. Y'all with me so far, by the way? Thank you, Samuel. I appreciate that. All right. Nice to see you, Maria. Maria, you're going to crush with this because you've already got a pretty good following. My page suggests that I look at your page, so I did this morning. Okay, cool. Don't have a sore throat, just losing my voice. Don't really talk much. Introvert. Right? All right, so here we go. Sales process by business type. Let's start with professional services. Sounds so good. Professional services. Here we are. I'm going to tell you sales processes in order of greatest amount of filtration to the least amount of filtration. All right? What filtration means is the amount of people who actually make it to talking to you. All right? So number one goes like this. You drive people to a webinar, live or automated, doesn't matter. You're going to have less hassles with live. You're going to have less tech problems. It's going to be less of a pain in the ass, and you're probably going to sell more with live. To answer the question of what should I do, live or automated? In all reality, I do live. They work better. Case in point being the fact that y'all are here. A lot of y'all came from me doing live Zoom calls. Worked pretty good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. You enjoyed it. Win-win, right? Anyway, you're on a webinar. You make a pitch. You tell them the price or you don't, but you say, hey, I got this thing. I don't want you to buy it. You need to apply for it because, frankly, it's not for everybody. All right, so that's the application. That's this little part right here, application. All right, and then we have something called preliminary approval. What that means is you look at the application and you're like, do I want to talk to this person or not? Here's the deal. You should not talk to every person if you're trying to have filtration in place. All right, so you say yes or no. I usually base it on simple questions. I'll show you examples of my stuff here in a minute. Then we have the next stage here, which is called vetting. That means someone else talks to them who isn't you and basically says, hey, are you a wacko? You worth talking to? You understand that this thing costs money and you're going to talk to Frank or whoever and you're going to make a decision whether or not you want to buy it. Either way is okay, but that's what you're talking to them for. And like, if they don't pass that muster, you never talk to them. So in order for someone to ever make it to you, this is the highest degree of filtration. So one example of a process for professional services, consulting, coaching, agency, etc. They see a webinar, live recorded, whatever. They fill out an application, jumping through another hoop. You either approve them or you don't, right? We decline more than 50% of the people who apply to talk to me because they, not the right people. And then someone else talks to them. It's about a 10-minute call. Hey, you a weirdo? All right. And then if they're not a weirdo, then they make it to you. This type of thing will yield for you a very high close rate on the phone or whatever you want to do, whether it's Skype or whatever, because they're already largely pre-sold, pre-screened, etc. That's why this is the only process by which I'm talking to somebody, because I'm not that good at talking to people. So most of the work to be done for me, right? So they see your branding stuff. You tell them, hey, go to, whatever, talktome.com. They see a little presentation beforehand. Then they fill out an application, etc. That's the highest degree. Next, application or webinar, same thing. Application, same thing. You approve or decline the application. If you approve it, you send them an email that says, hey, schedule a call. So the only thing we're removing is this step right here. You see my mouse moving? That's the vetting call. Again, a vetting call is just someone else, an assistant or whatever, going, hey, I'll show you examples of this in a minute, by the way. Hey, mentally approved your application. He's a delight to talk to. I just want to ask you a couple questions first, make sure it's a good match for both of you. You understand this thing is $1,753 billion, right? Yeah, okay. Are you a murderer or a weirdo or a psychopath? You're not going to try to talk to him with your pants off or anything weird like that? No. Okay, well, he really prefers it if you are a weirdo. Oh, yes, I'm a total weirdo. Okay, now you can talk to Jason Medley. He's one of the folks on this call. I like to mess with him because he's fun to mess with. All right, so this process, number 2, just simply doesn't have that vetting step. This is super common, by the way. Really, really common. All right, so webinar application, yay or nay, to phone call. Pretty good. Next one is ain't no webinar, right? And this is what we use right here. So in our private client group for our branding agency, real simple. They see some content, drives them to a sales letter. They apply right there. I'll show you screenshots in a minute. They fill out a 4-field application. I look at the application. If I like them, Natalia will talk to them. She'll say, you a weirdo or not? They say, no, I'm not a weirdo. I want to pay you some money. She goes, all right, you can talk to Frank in 2 days at this time. Show up then. And then I close them on the phone. Close them. My sales script is, well, what do you want to know? Works pretty good. Okay. So there's a little less filtration because there's no webinar, right? So they're not having to sit through an hour before they even get the chance to apply. So we've now taken away some of the filtration. The next one, same process. They just no webinar. They see a sales letter, or they can even go directly from your branding content straight to an application, preliminary approval. You want to talk to them or not? If yes, they schedule an appointment. So no vetting, just nothing. Super simple, right? And then there's the online scheduler, and there's no filtration here. And this is where they're like, hey, you want to talk to me? Go here and book an appointment. And so that's going to get you a lot more people to talk to, but then it's going to get you a lot more people. I keep saying weirdos. They could just be very nice people who aren't like your ideal person, but I'm just going to say weirdos because I feel like it is more entertaining to me personally anyway. So like all these processes can be used to sell professional service, right? Then of course, there's like brick and mortar, which is inbound call to an appointment, to a phone or in-person call. So many attorneys do this. Have you been injured or think you've been injured or can at least lie with a straight face and say you've been injured and you want to sue someone who's got some money, call Rick James, attorney at law, and we'll see how bad we can hose them, right? And then that's your marketing. Then they call 1-800-RICK-JAMES-LAW, right? Please don't let there actually be a Rick James attorney at law. God, that would be awful. I'm sure they're a wonderful attorney if there is. It's just a coincidence that I'm using that name. Please do not sue me, Mr. James, in all of your glory. And then so they talk to Rick James and he's like, yeah, we can sue. It's a celebration. Hold my breath. Fill out this form, right? And then you close it. So zero filtration in these last 2, right? None. All right. Then you have high ticket, and high ticket can be even high ticket info product. It can be a plane, whatever, right? These methodologies also cover. These methodologies can also be used for professional services. Okay, so everything from the previous slide, high ticket can be masterminds. It can be like whatever. Everything from the previous slide, but you can also start getting old school, right? Which is you put out a lead magnet. Free report reveals how to grow your dentistry practice, for example. Then they get the lead magnet, and on the thank you page, it's like, hey, you want to talk to us? And then they're like, okay. And then you put them on the horn. Got a client that does that. He does okay with it. His biggest problem is no filtration, not getting the best people here, right? But a lot of people make it work. You could also do a webinar to a discovery day. So it's the same thing, but instead of making them go to an application, they come spend a day with you and a bunch of other people, knowing that they're coming to make a decision about the high ticket thing. This comes from the franchising model. This is how I sold my very first high ticket mastermind in 2013. The webinar said, hey, I got this group, $35,000 for the year. I don't want you to make a decision now. Instead, I want you to come to this discovery day. It's in San Diego. It's free. And if you like what you see there, then you can come and join the mastermind group. And I pitched it there. You can also follow up with that afterwards with a phone call. All right. And then there is another classic, right? I've got a client that's doing this now. He's in Australia in the fitness business where he helps people get certified for fitness and stuff. Real big business, like solid dude. Tons of ads. Hey, fill out this form. You get a free ebook on how to have how to get licensed as a professional trainer. They get the ebook. A sales team calls them, says, hey, you interested in getting certified? They say yes. They schedule an appointment with a salesperson, and then there's a phone close. So there's like a gazillion ways to do it, right? Here's the takeaway. Simple is best, okay? So I'll show you the best ones out of this process. Here's my general recommendation. If you're selling professional services or anything high ticket, we'll define high ticket as being greater than $3,000. Okay, right? So I'm arbitrarily choosing that, right? Here we go. From the greatest degree of filtration to the least, here are the best ones. Number one, webinar to application, to pre-approval, to vetting, to phone close. Webinar to application, easy, right? You do a webinar. Hey, if you're interested in this, fill out this application and we can talk. Pre-approval, all that means is you literally look at what they said and you make the decision, do I want to talk to this person or not? Right? So there's no process there. You're like, okay, if you want to talk to them, you send them an email that goes, hey, this is Jim from old Frank's office over here, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit and ask you some questions, and if everything goes well, I'll schedule you an appointment with Frank. That's it, right? This works really, really well. That's number one, greatest degree of filtration. Number two, and this is the one we use the most right here, you show them a sales letter to an application. By the way, I'm doing sales letter and a webinar because I'm better at sales letters than webinar. I always overteach on the webinars. I sell terribly on webinars. Like I'm the worst webinar salesperson ever. So I do a sales letter because that's my strength. Right? Same thing as webinar, but in a sales letter, said, hey, if you're interested in this service, it's not for everybody. You need to apply. I'm going to approve it. If I think we're maybe a good fit, my wife Natalia is going to call you and she's going to verify that we're a good fit. If we are, then you can talk to me. Right? So this is the one that I use personally. This has sold my private client group and our agency services with great success. I'll show you screenshots in a minute. All right. So here's the flow of how this works. People see your branding content. Again, this is just for high ticket things. I'm going to go for info marketing and stuff as well. I'm trying to show you every sales process here. All right. So people see your branding content. All right, and like, oh, that's pretty good. And then in the branding content, you make an offer. All right, remember, every piece of branding content delivers value, builds goodwill, makes an offer. We'll give you that framework during this class, right? None of it's going to do you any good unless you have a good sales process, though. So, okay, go to register for the webinar or go to kernbranding.com or whatever. I changed that website. We sell my book now because we can't take any more branding clients. But whatever, they register for a webinar or see a sales letter, doesn't matter. From there, they apply, right? They fill out an online application. From there, if you approve it, right, which there is no automated system in this regard to approve it. You're just like, yeah, okay, they seem pretty good. Let's talk to them, okay? And then someone else talks to them, make sure that they're cool, just screens them, basically. If that person says, yeah, okay, you should talk to them, then they schedule the call with you, and then you close them or you don't, okay? So either one of these two things, that's really the flow that it goes to, all right? So let me show you like real-life examples of this. If you are to go to frankkern.com and click on the big link there that says looking for private client group, this is the letter you'll see. All right. So here's the sales letter. This is for the private client group. In this letter, I'm like selling it. Hey, it's a pretty good group. Not for everybody, but here's what we do. Right. And in the letter, I'm like, hey, if you want to join, here's what's going to happen. You need to apply. After you apply, I'm going to look at what you say. If I think we're possibly a good match, then my wife is going to call you. If she thinks we're a good match, then you can talk to me and you can either become a client or not. That's basically all I'm saying in the sales letter. Here's the application. This is on that page. All right, so this is on the same page. Again, if you go to my website, I don't do it now, this will be distracting, but pretty easy. Remember myname.com and then click on the big link that says private client group and you can see it. This is on this page. This page is just long, so I couldn't fit them all in one screenshot. So this is my entire application. First name, last name, email, phone number, website, annual revenue. All I'm trying to look at is see, what are they selling? Is it like some stupid thing? And can they pay me? If it's a stupid thing, no talk to Frank. If they can't pay me, no talk to Frank, right? So then I manually, personally, look at the application. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to him. When that happens, they get an email that's written from Natalia, real email address, and she's like, hey, this is Natalia, Frank's old lady. That's a proper way to say that. She laughed when I made that joke. All right. Frank's done reviewed your application, asked me to set up a quick 15-minute call to get your questions answered. When can we talk? Here's a link to the online scheduler, right? And then they go there and they fill out, they select their time to talk to her. That process brings us about $1.5 million a year. The exact same process was used to grow our branding agency, right? Exact same process. It just said branding agency instead of private client group, the same thing, right? And it was a super simple application. So the tools to use that type of sales process are this. A website with sales materials, right? Like, doesn't matter what it is, ClickFunnels, e-pages, whichever one you like best, use that one. That's what you got your sales letter on. Or a webinar, right? So if you're good at webinars, do a webinar. If you're good at writing sales copy, write sales copy. I'm better at sales copy than I am webinars. Always overteach on the webinar. Can't stand it to have somebody on that webinar and know that it's possible that they come away from that thing without being able to actually implement stuff. So I always overteach and undersell on the webinar. That's why I'm like, all right, damn it, I'm going to write a sales letter if I have the time to write a sales letter. Okay? Then an application form. I use a service called Typeform for the applications. We just started using that recently. It's really, really easy to set up, like super easy, and it looks cool. Okay, so Typeform is the application builder, and then a scheduler. We use HubSpot now We started with youcanbook.me, which is like $10 a month. Like super basic, okay? Nothing heavy duty here for the sales cycle. So you need like 3 things here: sales materials, application, and some sort of scheduler. Whatever you want to use is fine, right? We used youcanbook.me, then switched to HubSpot when we got fancy. No more success paying a whole lot of money and having the complexity of HubSpot than we did when we just used youcanbook.me for $10 a month. So I would go with something super, super simple. All right, so that's what we use. Here's one with slightly less filtration, okay? So they see your content, right? So here's how that process works. They see your branding content, and you're like, hey, go over here and just apply. Now notice I said automated application. I discovered something that I'll share with you. It's really, really cool. And we've done this, so I'll like show you some stuff. I'll show you screenshots. So, hey man, if you want some help, we're happy to help you book a strategy session. Go over here and find out more. This is an application. This application automatically approves them or declines them. I'll show you how in a minute. Super cool. Super easy too. Like kind of a new discovery for me. I'm really excited about it actually. So it either approves them or not. If it approves them, they can just schedule themselves. All right. So 100% automated. You still got some filtration here because if they answer questions incorrectly, they don't get an opportunity at all to schedule with you. But it is possible for somebody to lie and then just schedule anyway. So you have a little bit less of a filter, but then you don't have the vetting call. You don't have as many steps. So it's up to you which one you want to do, right? Then you close them on the phone. So let me give you some examples, okay? This is beautiful, all right? This is using that super like basic system I just outlined for you. First of all, I'd like to point out this is a wonderful screenshot. You're welcome. It took me forever to make that perfect looking photograph there, but I'm glad I spent that extra effort. I don't know about you all, but it's like impossible for me to get like a screenshot that doesn't look like this. I might as well just deliberately look stupid. Okay, so we started doing this one on November 15th. Notice I don't even have a website here. All right, this was to sell a scaling group, by the way. So our job was to sell 2 groups of 5 people that paid $9,800 each to be in an 8-week scaling class with me where I talk to them every week on a Zoom call like this one. Didn't build a sales letter for it. Didn't build a webinar. We're like, let's just try it and see what happens. So I started going and posting content like this. This is before I really started doing the branding stuff properly. Like, hey, you want to work together? Go here. That's what I'm saying in this video. Hey, if you want some help, interested in scaling, go here. All right. So look at how horrible looking that URL is. Nothing fancy. I just used the basic Typeform URL. All right. Just to show you, 217 people filled that out. Great, googly moogly. Here's what's interesting. All right. Here's what the form looks like. So notice right here, excuse me, it's asking for stuff like the basics, like, hey, what's your name? What's your website? What's your phone number, etc. Here's where I'm asking qualifying questions. Qualifying question number 1 is, what's your annual revenue? Qualifying question number 2 is, you want to buy something? Basically, right? I'm saying, if you get value from talking to us, would you be interested in hearing about my coaching program that's specifically centered on simplified growth and scaling? Here's the deal. If they don't got no money, or if they click no to this, either one of those cases, they see this. Based on the information you provided, I'm not sure we're going to be much value to you. Reason why is this program is only a good match for businesses that are already well past the 6-figure mark. Businesses below that mark don't have enough forward momentum for me to utilize for growth. No opportunity to talk whatsoever. Out, right? Not rude. It's like, hey, dude, what am I going to do? I can't help you. You ain't got no momentum. This is about scaling an existing business, not like starting nothing, right? So if they say, I ain't got no money or I don't want to buy anything, they never get the opportunity to talk, okay? If they do say, yeah, I got some money and yeah, I'm interested in buying something, then right here, this is where it would insert their name, by the way. Again, I'm using Typeform. It's super simple. It says, hey, you're all set. Please click the big blue schedule my call button below. We'll get you all taken care of. All right. And then when they click that button right there, they're taken to our scheduler. In this case, it's Tyler's scheduler. And y'all all know Tyler. We sold all 10 spots of that in a matter of weeks using this process. No sales letter, no webinar, no nothing. Did he talk to some people that said no? Yeah, he did. I think he probably closed like 1 in 3 of them or something. Or some of them totally crazy and they just like said whatever to get a conversation. Yes. However, we sold 10 of them in a couple of weeks at $9,800 each with no sales letter, no webinar, nothing fancy. Okay, so this is like a very basic, very simple sales process. My point is, if you're selling high ticket, you got to have one. Choose whichever one of these is best based on your ability, right? So here are the tools you need to do something like that. Typeform, seriously, typeform.com, greatest thing ever, right? I did integrate it with a website. You saw the URL I gave out on Facebook, right? It was like typeform.com/blah, blah, blah. I just put it in the comments. All good. No worries. Typeform and the scheduler. The end, right? That's it. Those are all the tools you need for it. That's what we use. We use the HubSpot scheduler. You can just as easily use youcanbook.me. In fact, I would recommend it because it's super cheap. HubSpot's kind of complicated. It's cool, but like if I had it to do over, I was like, I don't know if I'd really mess with it. Probably just use youcanbook.me. It's $10 a month. Simple. Works really, really good. That's it. That's the whole thing for that sales process. So now let's look over here at the next vertical, right? Which is info marketing. Okay, and I see your questions, y'all, but oh my God, dude, is there really a Rick James Law Office? Please tell me there's not. Okay, hang on, I just have to see this now. Let's see. Please don't be. There's actually a Rick James Law Office. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm never going to use that as an example again. That is the greatest thing ever. And holy crap. Okay, got to find a new example though, because you certainly don't want to get anybody angry with you who's an attorney. Probably a pretty solid attorney too. And he's probably like really, really tired of Rick James jokes. So I will not make any more at his expense there. Okay, so now I've lost my screen share or my, what do you call it? Where the hell did it go? All right, hang on. No, Francois, get out of there. I've somehow managed to lose completely the keynote thing. Where are you, keynote thing? It's on the other monitors, but not on this one. Okay. No, get out of there. All right, I gotta shut it down, and then I'll reopen it. Sorry, y'all. Just got distracted by Rick James Law. There we are. Okay, cool. So now let's talk about the info marketing thing. I'm totally amazed that there's a Rick James Law, by the way. How awesome is that, though? Seriously. Okay, so price. All right, what's the best sales process for info marketing? It all depends on price, number one. That's the big one. So generally speaking, if you're selling something under $100, whatever it is, gardening book or whatever, I'm not telling you what to charge. I'm just telling you processes based on price points. If it's under $100, you can probably sell it pretty easily, assuming you're good at doing these things, with a sales letter or video sales letter, either one, to an order form, and then you got your typical bumps and upsells and a back end, like a webinar on the back end or whatever. This model works well for info, also works well for e-commerce. I got a client who sells a lot, to the tune of about $500,000 a month worth of some spray that you use to get the dog pee smell out of your carpet if your dog pees on the carpet. Or, seriously, $500,000 a month. It's crazy. And that's his whole funnel. Little sales letter about the stuff. They buy it, and then there's an order bump and some upsells and stuff. And then the back end is your dog probably still pees on the floor. You need more of the stuff. Works great. Okay, so if it's under $100, that's a pretty good process. Should I use a sales letter or a video sales letter? Depends on your skill set. If you're great at writing copy, do that. If you're not, video sales letter. If you're not good at either one, we got a problem, and I'll show you how to address it in a minute. If you're doing $100 to $1,000, here's a process that works pretty good. Sales letter, VSL, or a webinar. And in a webinar situation, you're opting in to watch a webinar. You give the sales presentation, again, whether it's on sales letter, video sales letter, or webinar, it's really up to you. The big thing here is you want a two-step order form, all right? And that's a big one. So here's the thing about order forms. Typically, they convert at around 10%, all right? So that means 90% of the people who go to your order form, they go buy. If you capture name and email address and phone number before they see the order form, you can follow up with them with a deadline sequence. You want to know how well that works? Works to the tune of 19 enrollments yesterday from doing that, following up with people who entered the step one. We call it step one of the order process. So we did a deadline sequence last night, whopping 4 emails, through ClickFunnels, nothing fancy. And then we got 19 people because we followed up with the step ones, right? So that's why it's in red, okay? The reason you want that step one, especially here, is it's a higher ticket. So a lot of times people, they're rational, normal human beings. They're like, oh, yay, impulse buy. And not very many people do that, unfortunately. So you need to follow up with them. So not too hard. And then if you're at $1,000 to $3,000 in the info space, ideally, unless you're real good at copy, there's going to be a webinar, opt into the webinar, then there's a webinar, you pitch on the webinar, then there's a two-step order form. And then you have the deadline sequence for non-buyers. That deadline sequence, that's where you're going to make your money. Hey, class starts on this day, or this offer expires in this many days, or whatever. That is typically, especially barring being an unbelievable copywriter, that's where the money is. So you're just segmenting out who's really interested. So super basic, right? So let me give you some screenshots of this thing. 0 animations in that. All my other slides have animations. All right, well, fine, Frankie. Don't build out animations. Let's see here. Okay, so we start. This is why I didn't sell the book, right? So from December 1st until like 24th, this was the sales process for intent-based branding. Give content. In the content, say, go get the book like 7 billion times, frankkernbook.com, frankkernbook.com. All right, they would go there. This is a $5.60 book. They would see the sales letter. All righty. So, hooray, sales letter. Okay, some of them would want to buy, so they would go to the order form. On that order form, this is important, is that order bump right there, right? That's the big one. Not going to make nearly as much money if you don't have an order bump. So that's a big deal. And then I got a couple of upsells. Here's one. And then here's 2. These are just your classic one-click upsells. I delay the button until they see the price and everything because I don't want anybody to have like a coronary saying, oh, I didn't mean to buy it. So I delay the button, and I have a big red no button and a big green yes button to make it really abundantly clear. I recommend you do that as well. So super basic, like really, really classic sales process. So if you have a product that's info, that's under $100, that framework is pretty good, right? Whether it's a sales letter or a video sales letter that you're sending people to, it doesn't matter. Whatever your strengths are, that's the process we use, assuming you've got the order bump and the upsells, right? Because that's the only way that's going to really, really work well. And lower price ticket, you got to have it. So here's the thing about that, by the way, is the name of the game in that lower price stuff is not how many sales necessarily. I'm on my other screen trying to pull up something for you. It is, oh, hang on, sorry, y'all. It is cart value. My book is $5.60. My average cart value, meaning the amount of money the average book buyer gives me in that period of time through that process for today, let's hit refresh, $59.79. Come on, baby. Woo, even more. Cart value went down, but gross went up. That's going to fluctuate every day. But in general, let's see here. Come on. Yeah, in general, over now 1,610 transactions, the average sale, the average cart value is $47. All right, and I actually think I got that on a slide. Dang it, I probably should have just remembered that. I probably captured it on a slide. Okay, so if you're selling stuff that's under $100, it's going to be pretty hard to make a lot of money unless you got this stuff here, an order bump and some one-click up subs and another thing to sell them. Right, but your point of entry, your main thing. I see you, Big Jason. But I'll answer questions when we're done. I ain't no hurry. We cool, baby. All right, so. There we go. Oh, look at that. Yes, I took that yesterday. So yeah, that average cart value is holding strong there, right? It's pretty good, pretty good. But that's, if I was just selling the book, my average cart value would be $5.60. That number would be real small. So you got to have those other things. So let's talk about if you're at $100 to $1,000. What's the best to you in my experience, right? First of all, not telling you what to charge. Charge whatever you want to. Doesn't matter to me. Here are the processes by which I recommend you sell whatever the thing is you're charging whatever you want for based on price, all right? So let's look at my main man, Jason Corman. He is a genius, by the way. He's a genius Facebook guy. Look at this thing. See, I would be afraid to use this language. I'd be like, I'm going to get my account shut down. But whatever. While with stocks taking a big poo like a dinosaur did it yet again today, here's some content. So this is classic intent-based branding stuff. He's a private client of mine, also a brilliant Facebook guy. Right? So he uses intent-based branding constantly, always making offers. He did it in a written post in this particular thing. All right? When you click on that, you're seeing long-form sales letter, all right, that goes to an order form. And that is converting 3% conversion. Now, because he's my client, we're going to have a conversation. What do you think I'm going to say in our conversation? I'm going to say, hey, May, number one, little concerned about that, claim there, right here. Makes me a little nervous for compliance reasons. Probably he had it checked out. He's no dummy, but still. But what do you think the real thing we'll talk to him about? I'm going to say, you ain't got no two-step order form, girl. What's wrong with you? All right? Here's why you need a two-step order form. Notice it's the same process, sales letter to order form to other stuff. He's converting at 3%, by the way, because he's a real good copywriter. Here's why you need one of them order forms. For this class, see right here, it's VSL, the squeeze page. The squeeze page is the step one of my order process for this very class. Right? So if you went to kerncall.com, clicked on the red button, or was on one of the Zoom calls or whatever and went to join this class, you recall, first thing you did was enter your name and email and phone number and stuff. We had 1,031 people begin that order process. We had 71 or something people take the class, right? Not all 1,000 of them bought. So we got a real good lift yesterday by going to these folks in step one and saying, hey man, you need to buy. Deadline. Right? And we said it in their voice. You know? My mind is still on Rick James. I'm still weirded out that there's a Rick James attorney at law. Of course there is, you know, naturally. Hopefully that guy's cool. He's got to be, dude. You've got to be cool if your name is Rick James, attorney at law. I hope so. I'm going to assume he's cool. All right, but this is why you need it. Because I didn't get 1,000 people joining the class. You know, there's 900 something people that still started that didn't, that I can still follow up with. We have another one or whatever. You damn right we're going to follow up with them. Yesterday, I think it was, we had 18. I have to go back and look. I'm pretty sure it's 18 enrollments, maybe 19. X amount of enrollments by following up with these people. So there's a lot of money in that two-step order form. What if you're selling something that's $1,000 to $3,000? Higher ticket, right? Well, here's how we did it, okay? Most of our sales came from this, by the way. I recommend you go with a webinar. Unless you're a really freaking good copywriter, strongly recommend you go with a webinar because it's very difficult to make $1,000 to $3,000 price point in a sales letter unless you're a very, very good copywriter and or you have an exceptionally good relationship with your list. Regardless, probably like 99% of the time, webinar is going to outperform it just based on how freaking hard it is to write copy at that level, right? So here's what we did, right? I started promoting this class on, actually it was on the 19th. The first way I promoted it was application to phone call, and Tyler's schedule immediately got booked up over a week in advance. So I was like, shit, I got to do a webinar or something. I didn't want to build a registration page. I didn't want to write a sales letter. That was a pain in the ass. So on the 21st of December, I started using intent-based branding content. It's like all we're going to be talking about during this class. And I said, okay, join me on Sunday or Monday. That was the 23rd and the 24th of December, right? So right in the dead ass smack in the middle of the holiday season. And we'll jump on a Zoom call, which is a webinar. This is what we're on right now. This is a Zoom call. Another way of saying webinar, right? And I didn't even have a website for it. I just used this beautiful, easy to remember URL. right? I mean, who couldn't remember zoom.us/webinar/register/capital W, capital N underscore capital D, lowercase b? Like, of course not. So I just put it in the comments, and it worked real good. I believe what doesn't happen. Now I had to recreate the webinar landing page yesterday because the webinar's already over, but this is what the webinar registration page. Some of y'all registered for this thing, and some of y'all saw it and attended, right? So nothing fancy. I literally just used the stuff that came with Zoom. No need to complicate stuff. Again, simple, better, simple, better, simple, better. Same with me. Everybody in the back of the bleachers. Simple, better. Okay? So simple is better. Nothing fancy. Go here, fill this out. Plenty of people filled it out. It was great. And then they saw the webinar, which wasn't recorded. I just did it live every time. It's easier. It's real hard to get the damn recording right. It was really easy to go on live and have fun and oh, damn it, I messed that slide up. Hang on. And just be a real person. So this is the big takeaway though. I damn show had enrollment form step number 1, right? And then they went to the order page. All right. Now, did everybody who opted in buy? No, they did not. And that's the big thing here. The money is ultimately going to be in following up with the people who started to buy but didn't, regardless of whatever you do. But that process worked really, really, really well. I did 6 of those webinars, by the way, to fill this class. And finally, it was like, okay, I've been telling people in the webinars I'm going to make a video sales letter for it. So I'm going to make a video sales letter for it. And I made one and put it on the web page. And that's how we got the rest of the enrollments. But the first wave of them, it was this. It was a webinar. All right. And it worked really, really well. Not an automated webinar, not a fancy webinar, nothing sophisticated at all. Just turn it on camera, showing slides, face-to-face with them. Go here and order if you want to order it. Pretty basic, right? Now, in the second evolution of selling this class, here's what I done did. All right. I'm a little good sometimes at writing copy and creating video sales letters. So I did this. I created currentcall.com. And this was originally redirecting people to the Zoom webinar. And then I created the video sales letter, and this redirected people to the video sales letter. All right. It went to this page, which is beautiful. This is literally a YouTube video stuck on a web page with click to play over it. So it's nothing. It's got a timer there. And then if they click, I want this, they can go and they fill out this sumbitch, and then they see the order form. All right. Same thing. So started with webinar, then got the pitch down pretty good by doing 6 live webinars. It's okay. I'm just going to put a video sales letter on a web page. Here are the tools you need to use that process. ClickFunnels, Kartra, whatever, to build your order form and your opt-in pages and stuff. Doesn't matter which one you use. Totally doesn't matter. Whatever's easiest for you. Naturally, being a dork, I have all of them because I'm one of those people. I'm like, ooh, marketing toy. I want one of those, right? I want this thing that does the same thing as the other thing, but the button colors are different. Let me pay extra. So I'm that guy, right? But choose whichever one you want. Big fan of ClickFunnels, by the way. Like it. Big fan of Kartra. Whichever is easier. Don't matter to me, okay? And then you need a webinar making thing. I like Zoom. It's easy. I set this stuff up myself. I ain't got, a whole lot of sense when it comes to that kind of thing. So Zoom works pretty good. You can see people if you want to. You click a button, the damn thing's on. Pretty simple, right? If you want to get fancy, you can automate a webinar. I was afraid personally. Fuck it. I'll just do a real one. It's easier. People appreciate it. Maintain that goodwill. You can sell better, and I get kind of energized from doing them. I don't know about you. I always feel better after I do a live webinar or Facebook Live or whatever. More energized, more motivated, more creative. Can be. All right, so that's the sales process recommendation for info businesses, right? Depending on price point. What about a real business? Like a brick and mortar business or a law firm that is not Rick James Law, all right? Option A is your existing sales process, which is, hey man, call us, right? I mean, seriously, lawyers, doctors, professional services companies, all that stuff, they spend $1 gazillion a year on TV spots that say what? It doesn't say click your television, right? It says call us, 1-800-law firm, or whatever, right? Or come on down and see us down here at Crazy Eddie's House of Used Cars. So that's option A. Option B is you drive them to a website with a click to call page. What is this magic of which you speak, El Gordo? Well, I'll tell you. That's me, El Gordo. That's my true name. That's my birth name, El Gordo Carnito. El Gordo Guapo Carnito is my full name in Spanish legally. So here's an example of that. It's a web page with your phone number on it, and that number's clickable. So if you view that on a mobile, which most social media traffic is viewed on mobile devices, you just click the number and it'll take the calling in. Pretty good, right? That's how you do it if you got a real business. Don't try to complicate your existing sales funnel. We just want more people in that son of a bitch. Okay? So that's what you do if you got a real business. Now, if you have a lot of different offers, all right? Like what if you're one of those people? What do you mean those people? You know what I'm talking about. You people with a lot of different offers. Okay? If you have a lot of different offers, here's what to do. The answer to the inevitable, what should I use this for? I'm thinking about this, and I got this, and I got this, and I got this. I know I've been there. Start with the one that's worked real good in the past, or the one that's ready to go right now. Right? When I started December 1st, the thing that I had a sales letter for was my book funnel. Didn't have a sales letter for any other stuff. I had it for private client group, actually, but I was tired of talking to people. And the private client group was like, damn it, I'm on the phone all the time. I got to take a break from this. We were doing enrollment calls and welcome calls. And, they've got my number of your private clients. Like, all right, so every Monday I talk to private clients. I got 3 or 4 of them to talk to you today. It's like, okay, that's enough. I don't want to worry. All right, don't mess with me for a while. Only thing I had to offer was my book. I was like, all right, shit, I'll Do it with the book. And it worked. That's how I concluded to do it with the book funnel. It's because that was literally the thing that I had available right now. So if you had a lot of things available right now, go back and be like, which one of these things work the best? And use that one. It's pretty simple. If you don't have any data from past promotions, right? So if you're like, okay, well, I'm brick and mortar and I've always done my business locally or whatever. I have a client that's like that. He sells business consulting. He's never done it online. It's always been referral based, offline workshops and stuff. And he's like, dude, what should I do? I could do a book and I could do this and this and this. I'm like, start with your high ticket stuff and do that. The reason why is because your sales process would be the simplest. Higher the ticket, almost universally, the simplest, the sales process. Private client group's 40 grand. See a letter, fill out an application. If I like them, Natalia talks to them, make sure they're interested, and then I can talk to them and close them. Real basic, right? So always start high. When in doubt, go the high end route. Sounds pretty good. I'll make a little quote card on that one. But a quote card with a terrible picture. A quote card with me on the back of a riding lawnmower drinking like a Schaefer's beer. No shirt on. That would just be awful. Okay. When in doubt, go the high end route. Keep it classy, internet. Double guns. All right, that's what I'm going to do. All right, here's the thing I've learned. And man, I hope you'll just let me have learned this lesson for you a gazillion times. It's just as hard to sell cheap stuff as it is expensive stuff. Here's a case in point. All right, do I have this thing? No, I don't have this data for you. I'll give you a recent case in point. Here's where I've learned the lesson like for the 90 millionth time. This last 30-day period, actually 40-day period. Mid-November, before we started offering this class. All right, so we started offering this class on the 19th. Remember when I showed you that automated application funnel where you can talk to Tyler? He was selling the inner circle. Inner circle is $397 a month, right? Pretty inexpensive, not a big deal. So that's basically give me $397, and then if you like it, keep giving me $397. It's not a lot of money. His close rate, and he's pretty good. He's not like a hardcore in-your-face guy. None of us are in my company. It's not my style, but he's pretty damn good. 1 out of 10 conversations would buy that. We switched to selling this about 1 in 2. We switched to selling or prior to that, we sold the scaling group, which I sold out of. Otherwise, I kept on doing it. There's only so much time in the day, It was about 1 in 2, 1 in 3 conversations. So he had to talk to whatever that is, like 5 more people to make one sale, which was $397 versus 3 payments of $997 for this, or 2 payments of $4,800 or whatever it was. Yeah, $4,800, I think. $4,900, I can't remember. It's $9,800, whatever you divide the math is, right? So a lot more expensive. The more expensive stuff has been historically easier to sell. I don't know why, but I'll tell you, of all the things to complain about, that ain't one of them. It's like, okay, I'll happily work less for more money. Yes, I like this whole equation. So that's pretty good. Easy thing to do, webinar to phone call, really basic, or application to phone call. If you don't want to do a webinar and you want to just keep it simple, we've had great luck with that highly easy automated thing that I showed you. You got any money? No. Okay, no talk for you, right? Works pretty good. And then, of course, there's the whole call the office thing. If you're a local business and your sales funnel has always been, hey, call us, start with that because it's always worked. We just want to make sure the thing you're doing is working pretty good and then drive a lot of people in. I'm not showing you this to help you reinvent the wheel, right? I'm showing you this to make sure that you got something and that something is pretty solid. And all these things are pretty solid. Could we mess with them and funnel hack them and tweak them and shit? Yeah, but it's going to keep you're going to spend more time doing that than you will just getting more people in there, right? So because it's so easy to get the traffic and attention right now, no need to make it perfect. Okay, so those are your funnel processes. Now let me show you the thing I made for you, and let's see if this is doable, if my dream can become a reality. All right, so I made you this file. And the first thing, let's see, here it is. I made you this. All right, now let's see if I can share this with you in chat. If I can't, I'm going to have to send it over to my homies on my team. All right, so I'm going to try to drag this in here. Does this work like it does in Skype? No way. Did that work? I don't see it. Okay, I don't think I can text this thing. I'm trying to give you this file in the chat window. Come on, man. No other. Lawton says you done can, but it ain't coming. How you did it? Let's see. Hit more. Something. Now, y'all probably can't see what's going on my desktop. It's showing my chat window. It might not be showing it to you. I'm trying to drag this file to you. Doesn't look like I can. We'll email it to you today. I'll send it over to Aaron and Tyler in the gang in a second. Yeah, okay. So I'll upload it to the membership site later, but I don't even know how to do that. So I'm just going to show it to you, and then we'll send it to you later today. All right, so I made this for y'all, okay? And this right here is a sales process chooser. It's a sales process choosing machine. So it doesn't matter what you're selling, all right? You can start with this, and then you'll pretty much know exactly what to do. Question number A, that's right, question number A, I said it, all right, is how's your copywriting game? All right, let me zoom back out. I don't know about y'all, I can't see a damn thing. My eyes are terrible. So scared to get lazy too. Need to quit being such a wuss. If your copywriting game is excellent, go over here. And then I ask you the question, what's your price point? If your price point is under $100, then you need a long form sales letter with bumps and opt-ins. That process will work real good. All right. Excellent copywriting game. Product under 100. Excellent copywriting game. Product in the 100 to 1,000. Long form sales letter with two-step order form. Better have that two-step order form, damn it. Follow up with those people. Hark unto me. If you don't, you might as well just start burning money. You know, I mean, that's where your money is in this process. If it's over $1,000, still going to say webinar. It's real freaking hard to sell something from a sales letter without like showing them and talking to them and telling them the stories and all that kind of stuff. So if over $1,000, I'd still do a webinar with a two-step order form. Only way I would deviate from that is if you just hate webinars and you're so painfully introverted or you can't talk or something and you can only write, then okay, do it with a sales letter. Other than that, webinar. Live, automated, I suggest live, works better. All right. So that's if your copywriting skills are excellent. All right. And this doesn't matter what you're selling, by the way. All right. So if you're brick and mortar, none of this relates or is relevant because your process is going to be call us or call us to book an appointment or come into the office. Okay. So what if your copywriting name's like, it's pretty good. Take it or leave it. It's okay. It's better than like the guy that owns the barbershop, but not as good as Lawton Childs or anything. Who, he can't read. He's on here. That's why I'm messing with him. I'm allowed to trash talk people who are actually on the call. like Medley and Lawton. You guys are fair game. Okay. All right. So if it's pretty good, not amazing, but okay, then we again ask the same question. What's your price point? If it's under $100, it's not that good. I'd VSL it. All right. I go video sales. A reason why is videos are consumed more. And so it's easier to engage with the story, and you got your graphics to help you, and that imagery and the refreshing of the attention span, and they hear your voice and you have the tonality and all of that. That makes up where your copywriting skills might be absent. So I would VSL it. Otherwise, everything else is the same. Still do order bump, still do one-click upsells, still have a back end, all that kind of stuff. But VSL versus order form. If your price point is over $100, I want you to do a webinar with a two-step opt-in order form, right? Because that's going to win typically more if your copy game is fair. Okay. So basically, really, if your copy game is not awesome, don't write copy. Get awesome at copy and do VSLs and webinars. If your copy ain't no good, all right, so let's say you can't write copy worth a damn in any capacity. All right, if your price point is under $100, you're host. Okay, you really need to rethink your entry point. You need to sell something more expensive. Here's why. If you're only selling something that's under $100 and you do not have these skills to sell it via video sales letter or long form sales letter, then you can do okay with free traffic. Right? By like going, hey, go to this thing and just like order it with terrible copy and everything. You can do okay with free traffic, but there's three legs to this system. System one is free traffic from organic. System two is assets. Everything we do is going to live on forever. System three is advertising. If you don't have like the skills to pay the bills, you're not going to be able to do the advertising part. It's going to be really, really hard to do that profitably if you're selling inexpensive stuff and you can't write the copy for it. And again, man, if you look at my book letter, go to frankkernbook.com, look at that letter. That letter's freaking good, and it's selling a $5.60 thing. It cost me about $30 in advertising expense to get a stranger to buy a $5.60 book from me. And I'm pretty good at copy. I'm no John Carlton. I'm no Dan Kennedy. But I am better looking than them and more charismatic. All right? Did I say better looking? I mean, especially Carlton. My God. I love that dude. All right. He's a buddy of mine. Okay. So if you're 100 to over 1,000 and you're no good at copy at all, I would go with application with filtering to a phone call and learn to close them on the phone. All right? And so when I say application with filtering, I mean model what we did with that type form thing, which is, hey, you got any money or whatever the question is, and are you interested in buying something? If they say no, don't talk to them. If they say yes to those questions, and talk to them. Don't expect to close every one. Don't beat yourself up over it. But what's going to happen is in having these conversations, you're going to get pretty good at being able to sell it, and you'll probably then be able to do a webinar or a video sales letter because you'll start to know the customer very intimately. You'll know their challenges, their pain points, and it won't be guessing. It'll be like as a direct result of having you been in the field, so to speak. So that right there is your sales process picker.